why are QR codes so useful to businesses nowadays with the pandemic and everything that's happened? Why are they so useful to companies, in your opinion?
That's actually a really, really good question. And QR codes are not new. QR codes have been around for a long, long time. And but I think until probably 2017, 2018, you had to have a different app on your phone in order to utilize those. So they weren't as effective. If we were to go to other countries, whether we go to Europe or we go to Asia, QR codes have been a mainstream component of the way that businesses and consumers are interacting. So when you go into, if you're in Asia and you go into a business and you want to buy something, they may have you just scan a QR code, and that actually is the entire kind of purchase process. Similarly to like what Venmo may be doing today, where like I was at the farmer's market the other weekend ago with my wife, and a lot of those vendors that are taking Venmo now, it's just a QR code you scan versus trying to find their name. It's just really a convenient thing. And so what really happened though during COVID, and this was the thing that I think made a real difference and real change, is consumer behavior changed, right? So consumers now going to restaurants, the menus are gone and you scan a QR code to bring up the menu. That was something that was virtually non-existent in kind of North America until COVID happened. And it was because of less paper, less touching, less kind of wiping down menus or whatever the case might be. Businesses started to adopt and change and do something different. And they found that consumers actually really liked it. And so now when you walk into a local restaurant, or you walk into, like I was in California Pizza Kitchen the other day, I mean, we walk in the door and there is a 2 foot by 2 foot QR code right there. You scan that, and that's how you're going to bring up the menu. And so I think it's really kind of consumers changed, and I think the change that Apple and Google made with Android several years ago enabled it so that just every camera on a phone is built in with a QR code reader now. And so it's the convenience factor is really the big thing that has changed for businesses, and every business can actually utilize this within their business to get more feedback, to talk to customers, to take payments, to push them to your social page, to get opt-ins for customers who want coupons from you, to see when you're, I don't know, I need to order a new filter for my water, my heater, whatever the case might be. Every business can utilize them. Larger businesses can use them on the trucks they're driving around town. So rather than remembering a number, scan here, connects to chat, connects right to that business. So there's lots and lots of different uses.
What am I missing out on if my business is not using QR codes?
If a business is not using QR codes, I mean, I think we can look back at what opportunities are missed as businesses are slow to adopting any new technology. So if we went back all the way to 2000, when websites became more prevalent and consumers started using sites like Alta Vista and Yahoo to find businesses that were not there missed out on the opportunity to connect with those consumers. I think when we got to 2007, 2008, obviously most businesses had a website, maybe they have a Facebook page, but then because of Apple and Android and the changes in mobile phone technology, phones got smarter in producing that type of information. So businesses that didn't make their sites mobile friendly, or the businesses that didn't make sure that they were on Apple Maps and on Google in kind of from a business directory, business listing standpoint, missed out on the opportunity. And consumers are using the convenience of what's sitting in front of them, and businesses miss out on those opportunities when they're slow to adopt. Chat on website or text messaging today is very prevalent among lots of business verticals, but businesses that are not doing that are just missing out on the opportunity to grow and flourish among consumers that want to use those features. And so today, as QR codes expand, it's just another way to automate your business. And so if you walk across the parking lot to the donut shop, If they can have a little sign there that says "Leave me feedback," and that's just an easy way to automate getting feedback from that business, and so I mean from that consumer. And every day, businesses have these interactions between the consumer and the business, and so so it's just a way to automate some things within your business to make sure you have better customer communication. There's millions and millions of businesses, and I'll just give you one like really quick example. Restaurants are using these QR codes in hundreds of thousands of restaurants around the country to bring up menus today, but they could actually also utilize that same thing to collect customer information. When I pay on Venmo or I pay on DoorDash or I pay with a credit card, that business doesn't know who I am. That business is missing out on the opportunity to bring me back into that restaurant with a $5 coupon or a special or a free appetizer or something else. It's just one really quick example, but while they're utilizing this new method, they're still missing out on the opportunity to bring me back and the millions of other consumers that are going to use those businesses. And so utilize that as a tool, just like the website is a way to collect information, text is a way to collect information, being in kind of business directories, Google My Business or whatever is another way to collect information and connect with customers. QR code is also the same.
A typical question that we've seen from people as we've talked QR codes is just whether or not they think people really know how to use a QR code and are familiar with that. What are your thoughts on how do we educate like the older generation, people who may not know about that?
Actually, I think that's a really, really great question, and there's been some surveys done in the last 3 or 4 months about QR codes and the usage of QR codes and how those changed. Pretty much anyone that knows how to take a picture with a mobile phone can use a QR code, and so simply putting a QR code on it could be a direct mail piece or whatever the case might be. People know how to use them, and so I think in some cases you may want to put a camera picture in the middle of it, so people know that I need to use my camera with this. But I can't remember what the exact stats were, but it was 78% or 79% or something of consumers have used a QR code in the past 3 months or 4 months, and so the stats are pretty high. So anyone with a mobile phone with a camera pretty much can use and probably has used a QR code at some point at a restaurant, at a train station, at the post office, wherever we go, we're seeing them. I mean, even the Olympics were just on, or you're watching a golf tournament and they're utilizing QR codes to connect with advertisers in those events. And so we're seeing them around us. Pretty much anyone that has a phone knows how to use them at this point. So that's not something you should have to worry about.
Right along with Christine's comment, she just said, I found that the older generation loves QR codes because it gives them exactly what they need without doing a lot of work or searching for other things.
Yeah, which I think is super, super true, right? I mean, I think, I don't know, my wife was talking to her dad the other day and was trying to get him to type something in, and it was, she should have to keep repeating it, versus if he could scan a QR code and it takes him directly where he wants to go or what he needs to do, then it is probably very relevant to even older generations, probably simplifying the use of a mobile phone and automating some things that would frustrate them in the past. We know that all younger generations, 100% of them know how to use a QR code, and they use it every single day. I mean, they may use it by bringing up their Snapchat and someone scanning that. They may use it by Venmo, whatever the case might be. That's why I say I think that's a really, really good point that I hadn't thought of. Is it probably simplifies lots of features and lots of things for even older generations. So rather than going down trying to text the HVAC guy because I have a problem with my HVAC, if they just simply had a QR code there that connected me right to chat, I can start having a conversation. I need something, it's not working, whatever the case might be. That probably solves massive, massive problems and the connection, the convenience for millions of not only Americans but people throughout North America and beyond.
How could a service-based business use QR codes effectively, since customers aren't usually coming into our office and instead we're going to them?
That's a really, really good question, and I'm glad that it was asked. So connection, like a local service business, and it doesn't matter if it's a plumber, if it's appliance repair, if it's HVAC, if it's pest control, window washing, all of these businesses spend a lot of money to get that first-time customer. And they want to do everything possible to get that first-time customer back a second and a third and a fourth time. And so, but it's a lot of times those are services that we don't use all the time. Like I'm not calling my HVAC guy every other week. I'm getting my windows washed every few months, right? I'm hopefully I don't have to call the appliance repair guy every week or every other week or every other month. And so sometimes those contacts get lost. The beauty of the QR code, and so just think about appliance repair. Let's say my refrigerator had a problem. They come over, they fix it. The appliance repair guy can say, hey, do you mind if I stick this little small QR code up here in the refrigerator so the next time you need me, all you do is scan that and it starts a direct conversation with me. Then that's something that the consumer's probably going to remember versus remembering his name, remembering his phone number. They're not going to remember any of those things, but that simple QR code. I think for HVAC, plumbing, those types of industries are also super, super interesting because how many times do we, if we're having a problem with the HVAC unit, it's not like we're sitting there next to the thermostat. We're going down and standing there in the furnace room and looking at the dang thing and wondering why it's not working. And we know that the HVAC guy is going to probably plaster his number up there. We can call him, but why not? Why a better solution would be to put a QR code right on there. Contact me. Ask me a question like, what's the size of my filter, right? Or where do I get a filter? Or how do I reboot this? You can ask questions, and customers that are using FreshLine, obviously, we actually connect that directly to a service bot, so it's going to lead right into what's the problem and helping you maybe diagnose a few things, but also get you in touch with the business 24 hours a day, 7 days a week through a simple click of the camera.
What do QR codes take people to other than like menus and stuff?
That's a really good question. I think a lot of times we're very used to it connecting us to a menu. And to me, connecting to a menu is just an opportunity to also start more of a conversation with a customer. I think we see QR codes a lot of times being directed back to websites. We utilize them a lot to connect to social, connect to leaving feedback from the business, especially when we have those face-to-face businesses, those face-to-face interactions. When they're coming to our store, we can easily connect them to leaving feedback after the purchase. But just think about even those service verticals. I go get my oil changed, I go to the car repair, I have a HVAC guy come over, a plumber come over. They always leave me an invoice, and so QR code can be something simply put on every invoice now, leave us feedback, and it's an easy way to then connect. And those insights that you gain from those connections are very valuable in helping you grow your business. We also utilize them in just starting a chat conversation or in kind of the sales process. So a salesperson, maybe someone's not ready to buy today, but giving them the convenience to chat you anytime, text you anytime, so they don't have to remember your number. But once you start one of those conversations one time, now we can become a permanent contact in that person's phone. And so you have the convenience of the QR code, and you have the convenience of now being a permanent fixture in their phone from a texting standpoint. So it builds better relationships ultimately overall. Convenience to the customer, better relationship.
So I think a lot of businesses understand the benefits of QR codes and how simple they are, but I think it's hard for businesses to see how those benefits translate into revenue. So how would you say that directly translates to your revenue?
I think that's a really, really good question. So if I'm a restaurant today and someone's scanning my QR code menu, obviously they're ordering right there. that doesn't necessarily, that helps me today, and it provides that real convenience factor. But where the opportunity is being missed is in using that now to create a customer interaction, right? So if I'm sending out that order on DoorDash, why not ask for feedback? Then I have that direct connection, and then I can send that customer on Tuesday when it's slow. I can send that customer a coupon to get them to come back into the restaurant or to order again. And so that directly relates to kind of revenue. And so the one thing that is really cool about QR codes is you can track everything. So you can track when someone scans it, they leave you a review. You can track it when how many people came to an event. You can track it when like if I'm doing a little pop up and I'm just trying to get people interested in my brand or my company. I can put it on the window. So it's all trackable though. And so, while it may not always have like a Venmo perspective where scan the Venmo, buy this product, you may not always have that direct connection to revenue, but everything is tracked with QR codes, so you know exactly where they're coming from, and it just builds the opportunity base to grow that revenue. And then whatever you do with it as a business, by sending out coupons when it's slow, or reminding someone, hey, it's time to get your oil change. Whatever the case might be, there's lots and lots of opportunities to drive that to direct revenue.
Do you feel like QR codes are one of the more important technologies for business owners to get on board with?
I think any technology or any mechanism that drives consumer behavior is important to get on board with, right? So if we were like I was the founder of a company early back in 2000 that were helping small businesses get traffic to their websites. We did that through paid search. A lot of businesses said, "Hey, I got the yellow pages. This is all I need," right? And so, in hindsight, every new technology that drives convenience for the consumer is going to have an impact on your business, either in a positive way or a negative way. So let's state that one more time. Any modern technology that drives better customer convenience, that makes it easier for the customer to do something, is going to have an effect on your business, either in a positive way or a negative way. And so we're not going to go back through this, it's earlier in this Facebook Live, but the website, mobile, the usage of mobile websites, the usage of directory listings, and the usage of QR codes, all of those are driving that behavior. How many people, try to find how many people have a yellow page. Yellow pages, physical printed yellow pages are no longer being delivered, right? They've gone away. 20 years ago, 15 years ago, that was like a $13 billion or $14 billion industry. That $14 billion industry went away just like Sears, right? I mean, sometimes things change, and if you don't change with the times, you get eliminated, you go away, and that'll happen to your business if you don't follow consumer trends. Just the idea of customer doesn't want to go on my website and chat, or my customer doesn't want to send me a text. Customers always want to call me. People don't want to pick up the phone and call anymore. People don't want to, they're not using their desktops like they used to. They're using their mobile phone, right? So a modern convenience, customer convenience, consumer convenience will win the game every single time. So be where the consumer is and what they want to do.
A question that we've been getting pretty often is, how often do you need to change out QR codes? They expire, right? Kind of an interesting question.
That's a really, really good question. So QR codes in general don't expire, but QR codes, basically it's a direction to do something. And those QR codes, some QR codes actually pass through a platform in order to know what the destination is, where they're going to go. QR codes, in our instance, QR codes can be changed, so if it's a different promotion next month or something like that. But I can tell you, I was in the mall the other day, and I was at one of the the cheesesteak places, and they had a QR code you could scan to download their app or whatever, and it just goes to a broken link. So that means that whenever they set that up, they set up on a service where either they needed to pay for the QR code or something else, so they can expire, but it's not because the QR code expires, it's because of the platform that it's on expires. And so we set up our QR codes in a way where that business always owns that QR code, so they're not going to expire. So if they're made right now and it's going to start a chat conversation, that QR code will always be there, so the business doesn't have to go and worry about that expiring or changing down the road. Some of our customers, though, want those to do this promotion this month and a different promotion next month, or maybe change that, or whatever the case might be. So they can be changed, but they only expire because of the platform that you bought it on. They probably want you to pay. So whatever the Charlie's cheesesteak place is in University Mall, you may want to find out who your supplier is of your QR code and replace it.
I love this comment by Christine. She said you can literally place a QR code anywhere. Website, email, text message, billboard, car wraps, flyers, business cards, Google business page. You can't say that about many things. A tool you can literally place anywhere to connect with customers is huge.
Absolutely, and it's like consumers see you as a modern business. They see you as up with the times if you're utilizing modern technology, right? Something as simple as that actually helps your brand stand out among others. And partly because they know that you're up with the times, but partly is because they know how convenient it is. I didn't think about some of the older generations before, but yeah, absolutely, that probably saves them. Like my mother-in-law has one of those phones that only has bigger buttons on it or whatever, and so for her to kind of type something out versus scanning something, yeah, you're 100% right. It does bring a whole new convenience, and it can be anywhere.
So I think a lot of things that business owners would be wondering about QR codes is just that there's different kinds of QR codes, right, Jay? And what kind of QR code is best for my business, and how would I know that as a business owner?
So I think that you need, as a business owner, think about all the ways that you want a customer to connect with you. So if you want them to connect with your website, if you want them to text you, if you want them to call you, if you want them to know about what your promotions are, your coupons are, think about how you're marketing your business. So are you doing direct mail? Do you have a physical location where customers come? Do you send your vehicles to their house to perform jobs? Anywhere where your brand is could be connected to an opportunity to connect with a customer. So if your brand is driving around in hundreds of trucks around the neighborhood doing jobs every day, then that's a convenient place where consumers are going to recognize you and may want to pass you. We actually have an employee that drives maybe like 30 miles to work, and every day she takes down businesses with it. She sees their trucks where they have a phone number on the truck, but they're not using the convenience of modern communication, utilizing a QR code. And so I think over the last 2 months or something, she has like 150 businesses that she's written down because they're missing out on the opportunity. Although I was driving down the freeway yesterday and there was a QR code on the back of a truck that was the size of the back of the truck. And so there are some people that are catching on. But really anywhere where your brand is, where you want the consumer to know that they can easily contact you. And so it could be any type of business though. Just think about the trucking company. Call this number with this extension to tell us how I'm driving today. You could actually replace call me phone number and that extension with a QR code, and the person who feels like you're driving too slow or too fast or changing lanes can easily scan that and connect with the business versus trying to drive and write down the guy's phone number, right? And so anyway, just any real use where or someone may want to connect with you in any form or fashion.
Another question that we've seen is frequently asked about QR codes, probably because COVID took a real toll on a lot of businesses financially, and so they ask, is it expensive to use QR codes?
No, it is not expensive to use QR codes. You can actually go to Fresh Lime, and they'll give you a free QR code. And so, I think businesses that are kind of hurt today, whether it's they need more customers or they need new employees, or they need more employees, QR codes are really, really good ways to connect and get with both of those, right? So, but yeah, QR codes can be free, and so it's not something that's going to add a lot of. What you want to do with those, though, and maybe you want to connect with those customers more, you want to build a bigger database, there are some things where you want to pay for some services that may be connected to QR codes, but the QR code themselves are free. In fact, Fresh Lime, if you go there, they'll actually create you a QR code and actually send you a starter kit with stickers and other handouts that you can use within your business, absolutely for free.
Another question, just because there's so many problems nowadays with like thievery of private information and things like that, are QRs secure? Are they safe for businesses to use?
They're as safe as what they're connected to, right? So there's nothing inherently bad about QR codes. There's no privacy things with QR codes. QR codes are just a convenience factor to some type of connection. So connecting them to your website, it's how secure is your website. Connecting them to your hiring portal, connecting them to whatever the case might be. All it is it's a mechanism to offer customer convenience, but there's nothing in them that can be hacked or changed to cause a security threat to a business.
Amanda just said, I saw an article in the New York Times that said even businesses that didn't think they would like using QR codes are doing it anyway because they're so convenient. I guess just a question that comes to my mind is, what are some industries and some businesses that you can think of that maybe wouldn't think that QR codes would be beneficial to them, but you can see where they would be a benefit to them?
So that's a really good question. I think it goes beyond. I give some examples like the trucking company, right? It has 500 trucks out there. It's just a convenience factor. So it's like any type of business could use it. I think that it's thinking about more than what we're doing today, but how else can we offer convenience to our customers and our users? And so that's when I go back to the restaurant example. Millions and millions of restaurants are using QR codes, and they're millions, hundreds of thousands of restaurants are using QR codes within their business today in one way or another. But are they getting the most out of that? So just think about the business that's using a QR code. When you go in there and it pulls up their menu, that same business may be sending out 30 or 40 or 50 DoorDash orders every single day where they're not bringing that connection in. So using a different QR code that says opt in for or come into our restaurant for $5 off, and scanning that, give them the coupon. That's a way to get a customer contact that's going to help you grow your business. And so it's not just like using them one way, or if we're using them saying, hey, we check that off. This is a little bit different. There's many, many uses. And I'd be hard pressed to find a business that can't use them in one way or another. We have customers who now are putting them on their labels. So when a customer wants to reorder, or a customer has a question about the ingredients and the trackability of those ingredients back to wherever they came from. If they have a question, they want to chat with someone. So you think about going into a local store, like you go into Best Buy today, and Best Buy is no longer putting out all the information about the product, and you can scan a QR code and it takes you to a webpage that tells you about that product. Just think about where we may have more questions beyond what the specifications are for a certain product. So we go into Home Depot and we want to know how much an HVAC unit is, or we want to know is this product safe to spray on my lawn, or whatever the case might be. Maybe you have some general facts there. maybe from a knowledge base, but also maybe that can connect directly to the call center of whatever that business is, so they can answer one-on-one questions as well. And so it's just how we use them, not where we use them probably now, but how we use them to create the convenience that the consumer expects from us as businesses, whether we're small or large, medium, or whatever, right?
How do you track your QR codes to know that they're working?
Reporting. So, not all QR codes are trackable. Actually, so let me state that. The QR codes that we use within our business and use within our customers, and again, we're not a QR code company, we just utilize QR codes to automate many manual functions that businesses, that help them grow and flirt and thrive. So all of ours are trackable. If you just go out on the web and you search for free QR code, you're going to find a lot of sites that are giving away free QR codes. A lot of them are not trackable, so you want to make sure that you're using a trackable QR code. Usually you probably have to pay for those, but then you can see, like an example, this is like a door hanger from one of our customers. But you can track, like within our system, you can track how many people scanned on that, but also you can see how many people answered the questions. And this is for a trash can cleaning business, but they can see how many people actually started that survey, how many were answered, and then how many people opted in, or maybe had more questions, or wanted the business to contact them back. But everything was trackable within that, so you can see the numbers. Just like placing, like if we placed a billboard ad and we put a specific phone number on there, we could see, the billboard company could tell so many people, how many eyeballs see that on a daily basis, and we can see how many phone calls we get, so we can actually track the effectiveness of those ads. But QR codes are basically the same. Yeah, every business can utilize this. It's just another way of automation, right? I mean, I think our business here with Fresh Lime, we're all, for the last 5 or 6 years, we've been building a platform all around making it possible that businesses, both large and small, can stay connected to their customers and to drive more value out of those customers that they have. And we do that by creating ongoing interactions with those customers in a very personalized but non-annoying way, I guess, through text, email, and other things. But times continue to change and consumer behavior continues to change, and so employing some things within your business that allow the customer to more readily contact you, to make it easier for them to contact you, more readily for them to interact with you, the bigger your business is going to be. And so it's all about convenience. It's all about making it simple. It's not about you don't want to complicate. You don't want to make it hard for your customer to get back with you. It's just like if you show up at the Apple store and they have the doors closed and they tell you to make an appointment and come back in 3 days and we'll get back with you. You may move on and go buy something somewhere else, right? They have open doors and they want people to come in. They want them to experience the product. And they want to make it super, super easy. And every business can make it more easy. Or easier for their customers to interact with them. That's why I gave the simple example of the restaurant. It's not about the restaurant, but they're utilizing QR code to benefit one part of their business to offer that convenience that was really kind of forced by COVID, but maybe there's some other ways within their business. But every service vertical, every retail store, every franchise can utilize this in order to improve their business operations. It's going to add more customer convenience. It's going to help them grow their business, add more revenue, and they're going to have happier customers at the end of the day.
Just to let everybody know, if you're interested in learning more about QR codes and what FreshLime can do for your business, check out freshlime.com. And again, thank you to everyone who's viewing this live stream. Just to kind of go along with Christine's comment about the pandemic, QR codes have been around for a long time, right, Jay? And they haven't been super popular for a while, but then the pandemic hit and everybody started using them. Do you think that QR codes will continue to grow in popularity after the pandemic times?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think when convenience comes, like the mobile phone, people maybe didn't think that the mobile phone was going to be as transformative as it was, or websites, or whatever the case might be, and so they're not going away. I mean, they're here to stay, and it's just one of those components. Though it's not like it's changing everything that we do. It's just making it easier, and so things that are easier, we as consumers, when something is easy, we don't want to go do something that's hard, right? That's why it's just the way that we are, and so once there's something that's there, like text messaging is not going away, right? Us using maps on our phone is not going away. I mean, how many people think about today, hey, I'm going to go on a trip I'm going to drive from Salt Lake City to North Carolina, and they're not going down to the 7-Eleven and buying a map and pulling it out and planning out their route. They're going online, they're going on their phone, and they're saying, hey, I want to go to North Carolina. What's the quickest way to get there, right? So convenience factors never go away.
Right.
And so to remind everybody, every Thursday, basically at the same time, we'll do these discussions on different things. And so set your calendars next Thursday, come back for another discussion. It'd be awesome to have more people involved and in these discussions and helping small businesses grow.